South Africans spent an astonishing 1.5 trillion rand on gambling in 2024. That's almost two-thirds of all consumer debt in the country. Experts say while gambling is on the rise, very few are actually winning, and the losses are putting more pressure on household finances, with people defaulting on monthly financial obligations such as insurance premiums and debt repayments.
The data is clear that a lot of South Africans who are gambling are definitely not doing it responsibly. And I fear that the results of that will be, we're not going to get to a position where people can secure that financial freedom that they so desperately seek and that financial stability for their futures.
The study by Experian and Vault22 found that gambling is draining disposable income, increasing debt, and standing in the way of wealth creation. Young workers and working class earners are the most at risk for falling behind.
Is the youngest people and the people who earn jobs that are considered in South Africa to be entry-level jobs. So although we don't have rand values, what is clear is that these are the people in the broader scheme of things who actually don't have a lot of money, who seem to be spending disproportionately on gambling compared to what they call the affluent people. The affluent people are also spending on gambling, but if you look at it as a percentage, they seem to be running at around 10%.
Even more worrying, some gamblers are now taking on new debts just to keep gambling, hoping that one big win will solve their financial problems.
The reality, though, is that the house always wins. And so for 99% of South Africans, that means that those placing those bets are going to be put in an adverse financial position, particularly if they're using other people's money, i.e. debt, to make those bets or to do that gambling.
Perry says it's important to protect before you play by building a budget, covering your essentials, and starting an emergency fund before thinking about entertainment spending that quickly turns to survival spending.
It's a little bit like insurance, where people understand the importance, but they're not necessarily motivated to take the next steps. So I like to kind of position it like this, where I say to people, like, do you understand what the game plan is with your salary that you're receiving every month, or with your grant, for example, that you're receiving every month? And kind of people pause and say, what do you mean? And I say, well, your job as an individual is to make a profit every month.
She encourages consumers to use free financial education tools to stay on top of their finances, especially during tough economic times. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ntokozo Khumalo in Johannesburg.